I'm ready for my next amazing guest when he is ready to join us here on the show. Being a dental practice owner is like running a circus where the animals don't try to eat you, just slowly annoy you to death. So, Mike, please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us what you do to help dentists cry less inside.
Paul, thanks so much for having me on, buddy. Appreciate it. First time, and I'm hoping to do more of these with you. Well, I'm the founder and CEO of Staff Driven Dental, based here in New Jersey. I've been coaching and consulting dental practice for nearly 30 years. I spend every day of my life, along with my coaching team, acting as a trusted advisor, a business coach, a life coach, a marriage counselor, a mediator, a personal trainer, psychologist, therapist,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. We wear many hats because when it comes to the coaching on the business side of dentistry, it's a lot more than just here's the business ideas. It's about really intimately getting to know the doctors we work with and the things that are holding them back, not just mentally as well. It's not just operationally.
I want to share, I had the pleasure of going to your event in person. I know you have a number of opportunities for our Nacho audience to see you in person. You have a unique energy with your team. And what I absolutely loved about that event was just seeing your happy clients and customers cheering each other on. We're going to use this gym culture analogy because, and I didn't know you were, had a past doing this. I believe the gym culture, Mike, is awesome. I was with my trainer today and he's a power lifter. And if he was at the gym and a woman was trying to bench press 50 pounds, he would run over and help her. And he'd say, you could do it. You could do it. There's very little judgment and there's a lot of support. And I think the gym culture is an awesome example. With that in mind, many personal trainers say, hey, you can't just lose weight by buying a treadmill. You have to actually get on the treadmill and turn it on. So you get these people coming to you with so many problems, team problems, money problems, could be personal problems. What are some good first steps? Someone's watching saying, I got to practice. It's stressing me out. It's kind of doing okay. I want to connect with Staff Driven Dental. Give us some first steps here.
Oh, look, there's two basic problems you have in practice. That's what I always say. There's under expansion and over expansion, right? Under expansion is obvious, right? Like if you're heavily overweight and you look in the mirror, I need to lose weight. You can see that it's prominent, right? It's the people that are in shape that look like they're in shape. They don't really realize maybe they're not they're unhealthy and they don't realize until one day they drop dead. That's a dangerous thing. So the thing is, we help on both areas here because those are because you can have a lot of stress when you're growing and you're big, and you got to manage growth as well too. That can also be a problem. But using the fitness analogy, and I'm involved in health and fitness forever. By the way, fun fact about me: I started two of the first personal training gyms in New Jersey in the late
Wow.
'80s. Dating myself. This is when
That's awesome.
personal training was a big West Coast fad.
Before
And these crazy people,
before GTL, Gym Tan Laundry, you were the
before
original
Gin
one.
Tom Laundry, man. I'm telling you, I was one of the originals. I had the Bon Jovi hair, business
That's
in the
great.
front, party in the back. You wouldn't believe the stuff that I was wearing back in the day. But the fact of the matter is, California, people were paying $30 a session. Now, in 1989, you think about this back in the day, $30 a session, you could buy a gym membership at Jack Elaine's. Any remember Jack Elaine's out
Yeah.
there? For a year. So who the hell was going to pay $30 a session for a trainer? All right. Well, guess who the number one clients we had were? Women. Women would come there because they didn't want to deal with the gym scene. They didn't want to deal with, they wanted to learn. They didn't know how to learn. No one was going to teach them. It was all a bunch of big muscle heads in the gym. So they were like, you know what? I want to learn. And they would come in with a magazine. I want to look like her in 12 weeks. Right. So basically, here's my goal. Get me there in a short period of time, A to B. Right. Best thing doctors can do. They don't teach this in dental school. They didn't teach you were in dental school when they did this. They didn't teach it 50 years ago. They don't teach it today. Unfortunately, the business part and people part of dentistry is a downfall of most dentists. I don't meet many bad clinicians, right?
Yeah.
Most of them are phenomenal at their art. They're not for lack of being fantastic, but I've seen amazing doctors of what they do, just challenged and struggling every day when the young guy down the street's making money hand over fist and they can't figure out why, all right? And why the patients are going to them. It's just going back to school and learning this kind of stuff. And the best way to do this is bring someone into your life. It's okay to get help. Like this is the theme of the decade where people don't want to get help. It's a stigma to get help. Look, having a trainer is the best thing you can possibly do. The results come quicker. You learn the what to do and the how to do it. You don't make mistakes. You don't just throw money out there. Let's see what's going to happen. You invest it intelligently, and you get where you want to be sooner. Every professional that you see out there that's doing well, and you're a big sports guy, right? Every professional out there has a coach, right? If you look at Tiger Woods' career, you want to look at a point when he started dropping off the map and he was crashing and burning. He fired his coach. All right.
I want to interject, Mike. You're saying so many good things because one of the things you made me think of was I was at a big event and I asked people to raise their hand if they wanted more money or less stress, and less stress won. Okay. Less stress won because I believe that when you're in your 35 to 50-year-old time frame, You want more time with your family. You want more time to do things. And that's the commodity that's lacking. When you're young, you got time. And I bet you when you're 55 plus, you also have more time. So do you work with these practice owners in this 35 to 55-year-old range who come to you and say, Mike, I need more time. I'm burnt out by my practice. I might be doing well. What are some of the things that you and your team talk to them about?
Yeah, stress. Look, stress is the number one thing. Just like, people think on the surface, you think that you go to a gym and train, it's all about the weight training. 80% of it's diet. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the training, right? So you can train all you want, but you don't change your diet and your lifestyle that way. It's not going to matter. Same thing with goes with training in the offices, right? I mean, the things that we teach them at a core, you have this office full of people, your team. I named the company staff driven for a reason, because ultimately, and you know this, Paul, when you have a phenomenal team behind you, the sky's the limit, right? They got your back, not something in your back, right?
Yeah.
And they're really making sure that you achieve your goals every day, and they're buying into the mission and the purpose and the goals of this practice, and they're not just going to work and doing a job, right? Having team members like that makes you win, because you know what? They make or break you every day. Every dollar flows through them, or not. Every dollar, every conversation they're having, everything they do or don't do every day. So it's worth investing in them and giving them training and giving them your valuable attention. I was writing some notes before listening to other speakers speak. Take your team less for granted, because we always take our team for granted, and then they're gone and go, what happened? By the way, what's one of the number one challenges doctors are facing in this environment? Staff. Okay.
That's why I think it's taken me years to realize this, but it's important. Treating your team just like your patients is important, right? Everyone goes, treat your patients, treat your patients. What about the people that make that happen? What about, and that's a skill you definitely don't learn in dental school. Like, I mean, how to work with a team, you're by yourself. I don't know if you've ever been in dental school, when a dental student has to take the patient to pay, set up their own operatory, get everything done. So we don't learn anything about when we go into the real world, how to deal with your team. And that's why, as we kind of wrap up, tell our audience about your training. It's for the team and the dentist. Is it online? Is it in person? If they're convinced saying, I need to reach out to Mike, I need to reach out to Staff Driven Dental, I'm going to text Driven to 215-543-6454. How do they get started with you?
Yeah, well, first of all, I definitely train. We're all about the full team training. It's not training someone in a vacuum. It's all connected. It's a full team approach when we work with people. We have customized programs for different areas of concern and practices, but ultimately we want to bring the whole team into this mentor. You saw that at my live events, and that's only part of what I do. All the work we do is on site. I'll say right now, I'm a regional company, although I can coach people on a national level virtually. Most of our clientele, New York, New Jersey, Eastern PA, 5 boroughs of Manhattan, we are there physically, hands-on site, regularly. There's no substitute for being there. You learning the culture of the practice, being in the practice there, hands-on delivering this material and teaching these doctors and their teams. That's where the rubber hits the road, man. And that's why I had the most phenomenal, results. I'm really proud of my results. I've over 300 5-star reviews on Google and Facebook. You don't see that in dental consulting. And most people will say, I hate my consulting. It was a waste of money. And I can't stand hearing that. I hear so many disaster cases that I have to undo.
I agree there, because then it poisons people's mindset towards it. And it's a two-way street. One of my trainers said, as we were at he said, it was so good. He goes, you know what the hardest exercise to do of all time is? Table pushaways, right? And he said, and then you made that right, because you said it's about diet. So you can make that about, it's not just about what you produce, it's how the money you spend in your practice, the way you treat your team and manage it. Well, Mike, thanks so much for sharing with us. I know you have some events coming up. We're going to share that. People can text Driven to 215-543-6454. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I'd just like to wrap up by saying a couple things. June 12th, next week in New Jersey, less than a week away. Full of the event you can see here through Nachos. We have some openings for guests. Nacho members can come for free. If you're in the area, you should. The whole thing is on creating the elite patient experience when you come in, using Disney and using Ritz Carlton, that kind of approach when you take care of your patients. If anybody wants to contact me, as a key resource and sponsor, they can contact me directly. My time to them is free initially, 973-454-0741. That's my personal number. You want to reach me directly, or go to staffdriven.com. I'm there. Here to help you, because I want to give back as much as I possibly can.
Awesome, Mike. Well, love your energy. Love what you're doing. Thanks so much for sharing with us.
You got it, bud.
As you guys can see, you learned so much in such a short amount of time in Talking Nachos. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about being a guest on Talking Nachos, please visit us at